Alright, hey guys, it's Monday, and this week's topic is passing. So I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, but I do have a lot to say on the subject, so bear with me. So I guess I'm going to talk about my personal experience with passing, and if I can think of any, I'll throw in some tips for you guys. But, so yeah, as a kid, like a little kid, I passed really well, obviously, because little kids, the only real tell... Sorry, that's my phone. The only real tell is, you know, what clothes they're wearing or whatever. So, for most of my, well, intermittently throughout my childhood, I looked how I felt, and I looked just like all the other little boys. Next week's topic actually is our childhoods, so I will show you some pictures. I have the flu, sorry. But yeah, so my baby albums or whatever actually look like I have a twin sister, because it's so intermittently like back and like it was just, it's so representative of this tug of war me and my mom had all through my childhood. So up until I was about 8, I had like short hair for the most part, and I wore all guys' clothes and stuff. And then my mom got sick of hearing, "Oh, what beautiful boys you have," about me and my brother all the time. So because she was sick of awkwardly correcting people, and because I loved it, but she didn't. And so when I was 8, my uncle had his wedding, and I was the flower girl, and so she made me grow out my hair for that. And then the next year, I was in grade 4, so I was 9. One of the guys in the class got one of his ears pierced, and everyone, like all the other guys, were like, "Oh my god, like I want to get this done." And so none of the moms were okay with it except for my mom. My mom was totally on board. Because she's like, "Oh my god, femininity, let's like jump all over this." So I went to the place and I got one of my ears pierced, and I jumped out of the chair and I was like, "Alright, let's go." And it was like brawl from then on in, and she made me kicking and screaming get the other one done, and I was really unhappy about it. And yeah, so there's still a hole there actually, and I win in the end. I've actually been considering taking those out, but that's a totally different story. So then after that point, I had long greasy hair. I was really awkward and shitty looking through most of elementary and all of junior high. I mean, you see some trans guys and you see pictures of them as girls, and you're like, wow, like, you know, you wouldn't have been able to tell that you were a trans guy or like whatever. Like they just look like normal girls. But nah, I didn't. I was not pretty or anything like that. I looked so terrible and awkward and uncomfortable and kind of like I was in drag all the time. It was brutal. And if you ever see pictures of me in junior high, which I really doubt you ever will, you will understand. But, so yeah, before I figured out that I was trans and came out to myself and came out to everyone around me, I had already cut off all my hair. At the end of grade 9, like I was 14, I started wearing exclusively male, like boys' clothing. I cut off all my hair and I started referring to myself with male pronouns, which was the big tell of there's something going on here, maybe I should think about this. So when I came out, it wasn't too big of a transition for anyone. Like, in turn, I didn't start dressing or acting any different, and I didn't change my name. So it was just, you know, start using male pronouns. So when I first figured out that I was trans, and I first like completely jumped into the whole trans culture and stuff, I became totally obsessed with the concept of passing, and it became like my raison d'etre and all this crap, because I wasn't out to my parents. I was 15, oh shit, sorry. I was 15, so I couldn't start testosterone, and you know, I was having a really hard time getting my friends to transition into calling me with male pronouns and stuff like that. So my really only validation in my identity was from, you know, interactions with strangers. And I'm from a small place, so my high school, there's like 3 or 4 high schools here, but they're pretty, they don't really interact a whole lot, especially in the early grades. Like in grade 12 you start to know other people from other grades, but before that you don't really interact a whole lot. So I didn't really meet new people very frequently. Like wow, speaking is hard. My main interactions with people were in customer service type situations, because I had a job in a fast food restaurant, and I obviously went to a lot of like fast food places and things like that. So I put a lot of thought into passing, but I didn't really change anything about myself. I watched a lot of passing videos, like passing tips and stuff, but I didn't really change anything about myself because I dressed pretty, like I dressed how I was comfortable and pretty masculinely. I wore my hair how I liked it. I walked pretty manly, and I talked with manly idiosyncrasies and all this stuff. Like, I didn't really nitpick about those things about myself, mainly because when I was first growing up, I was not specifically socialized as female. I didn't have any, like, girl friends or anything like that. So I grew up with little boys, being a little boy. So I do inherently have a lot of male idiosyncrasies. So yeah, I didn't really put too much stock in that kind of stuff. And I've actually refrained from making a passing video, like passing tips, because a lot of people, they say, like, you need to cut your hair a certain way, and you need to, like, speak a certain way, like, different, like, speech patterns and all that stuff. And I don't know, I don't really put a lot of stock in that, because it's just, you know, be yourself and be comfortable, because that's the number one thing in passing, is because you're confident that you're a guy, like, you're confident as a guy, and then other people will start to see you as a guy, like, that kind of thing. I don't think there's one way to be trans, and I really just, I don't know, I don't think there's any, like, step-by-step thing you can do to make people see you as a guy. Really, you just need to get there. So that's my little thing on passing videos. But so yeah, I passed about 50% of the time. I've only been on testosterone for like 3 months, so I haven't changed a whole lot. If you are interested in seeing what I was like pre-T, you can go to my personal channel, which I will, as always, link in the crotch bar. And yeah, you can see a couple of my pre-T videos. My voice wasn't too much higher than it is now. Like, it was higher, but like for a pre-T guy, it wasn't that high. It was pretty deep for a pre-T. My face hasn't changed a whole lot. Like, I looked a lot better with short hair. I looked like a guy. I just looked like 12 or 13. Not helped by the fact that I'm 5'2". But yeah, so I'd passed about 50% of the time, mostly as a lot younger than I actually was, but I was okay with it. It didn't really matter. So yeah, since being out for a long time, the longer I was out, the less it mattered to me. Because I got more comfortable with being a guy. I met a lot more people, who only knew me as male. I knew some people who didn't know at all that I was trans, and, everyone around me was using male pronouns all the time and stuff. So I just became a lot more comfortable and confident, and it didn't really bother me as much when people, you know, mixed it up. Until I started T. In the past few months, when I don't pass, it really affects me a lot more than it used to. And I think it's because, I'm on testosterone now, and my voice is changing, and my face shape is changing, and I look more masculine, and blah blah blah. And the thing is, there's not too much more I can do to physically make myself more male. The changes will still be happening for the next few months, but after that, it's pretty much going to plateau, and that's as male as I'm going to get. And if I don't pass then, like, then what? You know? So I think that's kind of been a big factor in me not feeling so good about it. And I feel really bad for my ex-girlfriend, because we'd go out for supper or something, and, you know, the waiter would come to the table and be like, oh, what do you ladies want, kind of thing. And it got to the point that I would just shut down. Like, I would go into this place in my head, and I would just stare at the table for, like, 10 minutes probably, and just not say a word, not have any expression on my face, just everything would lock down until I could build myself back up a little bit more. And I feel really bad for putting her through that. And eventually she stopped trying to, like, comfort me or anything. She just, you know, let me do my thing until I came out of it, which is totally understandable. I would be so fucking fed up with someone did that to me. So yeah, it has gotten worse. I do pass pretty often. The only reason, my biggest deterrent that's keeping me from passing now is my height, because all my friends, I'm pretty freakishly short, and all my friends are freakishly fucking tall. Like, the guy I hang out with most on campus is like 6'1", so he's almost a foot taller than me. And like, my two ex-girlfriends, one was like 5'10", 5'11", the other's like 5'9", something like that. Like, they're tall, and in comparison, I'm so small that it's like, oh, you couldn't possibly be a guy because you're so small. So people start thinking that I'm a girl and all this bullshit. So it kind of sucks because that's like the one thing that I cannot change about myself. Considered lifts for a while, but I'm kind of embracing being short. I would really kill to be 5'5". Like that's to me is a reasonable height, but I'm trying to embrace being short as best I can, but that's another topic for another week. So yeah, I do pass pretty well. It's been getting better. Like every week it gets better. My voice gets deeper, get a little bit more facial hair, and all the stuff. I think the biggest thing that will make me feel comfortable now, other than growing a beard, because that's what I'm dying for, is facial hair, will be top surgery. That'll be the other thing, because I have been gaining a lot of weight, and so my chest has been getting a lot more prevalent. So that sucks, but that's pretty much it. In terms of passing tips, I don't really have any. And like I've heard a lot of people, like a lot of guys say, like try dropping your voice, wear baggy clothing, and like a lot of dark clothing I've heard, and like stuff with labels on the front so it distracts from your chest. I've heard people say have like longer, like have short hair but have like emo bangs because it hides more of your face. Like, guys, if you don't like side bangs or emo bangs or whatever, don't get them just because you feel like you need to pass. Like, you don't need to do anything. If you feel more comfortable in skinny jeans, fucking wear skinny jeans. Like, who gives a shit? 90% of the male population who are like 16 wear their girlfriend's jeans. It doesn't matter. Wear what you're comfortable wearing. Be who you are. And then other people will start to see you as who you are. Right? Like, I don't know. That's just my take on it. Like, you can watch other people's videos for passing tips. There are plenty on YouTube if you really want to. But my biggest advice is just be who you are, and the rest will follow. Just make sure that you're comfortable with you. So that's basically my little piece of it. So yeah, I'll be back next week. Sorry this video is really long. I tried to condense it as much as possible. So yeah, I'll be back next week when we're talking about our childhoods, and you'll see pictures of little baby Chris. So adios.